that everybody can interact with each other. And if you have anything to go around, if you're busy something, just close your camera. And if you're driving, just keep your camera off and concentrate on the road. Safety is of utmost importance. And as you're all at your homes, you know the safety exit if any emergency happens. With this, let me now hand over to our dynamic president, Toastmaster Vidad Hijazi, to formally open the session. Over to you, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. DTM Farouk Qadir, for this quick, nice introduction. And mashallah, you know this script very well. You said it directly. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I announced the All This Gold series number 39 to start. And our topic for today is evolving communication in a hybrid world. What can we say about this? We these days stand at an exciting existing crossroads in the world of communication. The last few years we taught us that our ability to connect, share, and inspire is no longer confined to a room where we meet all together. A stage like Zoom is a good place for us to communicate. We now live in a hybrid world, a world where conversations take place both in person and in virtual spaces, often simultaneously. So this evolution helped us reach each other, helped us to develop ourselves more, to take care of ourselves more in our journey in communication and leadership in Toastmasters. And it's the future that, with the flexibility of the future, that demands us to be more and more flexible, to embrace the technology while holding into the timeless principles of everything we're doing. So welcome everyone to our All This Gold series. Welcome Toastmaster Judy. This is the first time you are with us as a member in Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters Club joining All This Gold. Yes, okay. We have welcome Toastmaster Nuha. So long we haven't seen you. How is everything with you? We have Qasim, a visitor or Toastmaster. You're most welcome. Would you like to say something before we start? Introduce yourself, please. Mr. Qasim.
Oh, hey, yeah. So I've been recommended Bath by a friend of mine, so I'm just checking it out for now. So, yeah.
You're most welcome. Hope you like it, enjoy it. All This Gold is a series that we have after the COVID, and it's a chance that we teach each other and the world about what Toastmaster is and different aspects of life. Okay. Would you tell us who the friend who advised you to visit us, please?
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's the same club, to be honest, because he said a different name, but his name is Muhammad Rashid. Do you guys know him?
Muhammad
Yeah, Muhammad Rashid. He's
Rashid.
of Toastmasters.
I can see the IPP smiling. You know him? Maybe I know him, but I forgot.
I'm not
Okay,
sure. I think you guys have like multiple clubs or something, but this is what I found today, so I was like, I'll join.
okay. We need to send
Right
a
place.
thank you letter for Toastmaster Muhammad Rashid for advising members or guests to visit us. This is a good thing for our club. Thank you for attending, and I hope you enjoy it. And joining our club is a legacy. It's a club, advanced club. It's the first advanced club in the Middle East, the first Toastmaster advanced club in the Middle East, and we hope you enjoy it. So we have more guests. Toastmaster Zainab is here. Let's get started with our meeting. And our MC for today is an eminent person in Toastmasters. What can we say about him or her? Those who haven't seen the agenda can guess. So a person who dedicated his life to Toastmasters, and really benefited to the maximum, I believe, from Toastmasters for his personal development, his fatherhood development, a role model for his kids, and a role model in Toastmasters. His ambitions and aspirations went beyond Bahrain clubs, to the Middle East, and far to the whole world. He is a person that we can all just call him for help, and he's ready to help us. He's ready for there with his wise knowledge and wisdom in communication, in leadership, in different aspects. His wisdom in seeing the things behind the things. That's what makes him a special person, and I'm very proud to introduce him actually, and he is none other than the immediate past president, distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Abdullah. The floor is yours. Let's all give him a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam President. I just now forgot all of what I wanted to say. Very nice introduction. Thank you so much. Welcome to Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters Club, OIG, Old is Gold. And OIG is something that we differentiate ourselves from other clubs. As an advanced club, we always come up with something different. And our flagship has been OIG. And funny enough, OIG has some relation to the topic or to the theme that we would be covering today. So when we started, okay, nice one, Qasim. All right. No, you did not skip any much. You are in the right place. And this is exactly what I'm about to cover. So what's the difference between an advanced club and a normal club? An advanced club usually comes up with advanced topics and advanced opportunities. I would not maybe challenges at times, but let me just say it as opportunities. And that's what an advanced club is all about. Normal clubs would have similar setup. In the past, there are also some restrictions in joining advanced clubs. You need to finish certain level of speeches. But now in our club, and thanks to, I don't know whether I can thank COVID only for that one, we kind of opened up and we accept all members, but the same quality of our meeting stands. And that's where we came up with OIG, All This Gold. When COVID hit, I remember I was the Division B director at that time, and we had a contest about to be organized. We were all paralyzed. We didn't know what to do. Honestly, is there any way that we can communicate other than an in-person meeting? And that's where the challenge. Now, what COVID did is evolution or transformation. What I can see in front of me now, I would not even bet that we can even carry on with meetings in the past. And that's how we were as Toastmasters. Toastmasters is basically the real estate. But what COVID pushed us to do, to come with a creative setup like this one, and that's where we came up with the All This Gold as an advanced club. We thought, let's come up and let's enrich our members, and let's basically ask our members to come forward and share their knowledge about their real experiences, about themes that we introduced. But in the past, there were few manuals before we joined the pathway, the current education system, that had certain nice topics that were abandoned. So that's basically where initially All This Gold was packaged. But now today's theme is talking about hybrid world. And that transition between getting into online and moving to hybrid, that was also another destructive, honestly, to us as people. I'm not just talking about Toastmasters. We never thought one day will come where people would be joining online, where we would be sitting and in a meeting and we would have almost the same experience. And that's what, well, I can only thank COVID for. Only that one, only that part. Everything else was honestly not up to the bar that we would love to have. So today's theme is just to discuss that aspect. How can we navigate a hybrid world? There were lots of things happening, not just in Toastmasters world, even outside Toastmasters worlds. HR, they are setting policies just to make sure that employees who are connecting from their homes would have the same experience as employees who are basically sitting at work and interacting at work. And it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. But we have 4 champions today who would debug all of the whatever easy and whatever is not easy about hybrid. And I can't honestly wait to hear each one of them and explore that together as well. There's no right or wrong answers here, but there are definitely great champions. And those are the great champions that would basically take us through the journey of the hybrid world and communication evolution through the hybrid world. And the first amazing individual, she calls herself shy, but I don't see that she is basically shy. I can see that she's navigating stuff in a different way. She's a new member in our club, and we are honestly honored to have her as a new member. There's something that new members come up with, which is energy. And that's basically what I anticipate from 3 new members, except one old. I'll speak about him later on. I have an introduction for him alone. But the first person who would be speaking about this topic or about the theme is Toastmaster Judy Abu Rustam. And the topic for her session is connected across continents, embracing the hybrid creative community. But before I give her the floor, I ask all of them basically, how can I introduce you? And this is her response. And this is the literal response, honestly. Sure, you can introduce me as practicing architect, artist, and co-founder of USK Lebanon and Sketchworks BH. I expect that is Bahrain, right? Simple individual, but wait for when she speaks. Please put your hands together to welcome our first presenter, Toastmaster Judy, with a session titled Connected Across Continents, Embracing the Hybrid Creative Community. Toastmaster Judy, floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, DTM Khalid, for the nice introduction. Can I share my screen? Are we allowed to do like a presentation at the same time? Okay, I'll share.
Only watch out for the time. We have DTM Ali Shahbaz is the timer. You can pin him for you to notice your time. That's it.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So the title of today's talk, I guess, is Connected Across Continents, Embracing the Hybrid Creative Community. And after hearing your introduction about today's topic, I think I am on the correct point. I was hoping I did not misunderstand the topic, but it looks like I'm okay. Okay, so I will just start by giving you a small setting. You're all familiar with Lebanon, with the successing crisis that we go through. We had a revolution, we had COVID, we had economic crisis, we still have that. And then we had a big explosion. All of this was not easy to navigate. Our world is constantly turning upside down. Things are constantly shifting. We always have obstacles and new changes to navigate. So I thought that today I would show you an example outside of Toastmasters of how a hybrid community was born, a hybrid community of the creative type, and how we navigated this new hybrid world. So I'm going to start by introducing Urban Sketches Lebanon. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the Urban Sketches. Is anyone familiar with them? I guess not. It's kind of far from Toastmasters. Okay. So Urban Sketches Lebanon is a group that we co-founded in 2015. The purpose of our group is to show Lebanon one drawing at a time. We tell the stories of the places, of the people, and yeah. I put together some photos just for you to see what we are and how we conduct our events and so on. So the purpose of today's speech is to introduce you to this group and to introduce you to our experience and how we navigated all these changes and all this constant evolution of things. In the beginning, we used to meet on location. Every month, or even more than once a month, we used to go to different places, draw the places, talk to the people, make some nice art, and go out, have a drink afterwards, and then just have fun. These are some photos of our events. We used to organize getaways as well in nature. And it was a lot of fun. We did a lot of events. It was really good times. We did exhibitions. We sketched the museum. I have hundreds and hundreds of photos from hundreds of events that we did since 2015. Here are some of them. So we were a very dynamic community, a close group of friends, and always meeting new people. However, especially after the explosion happened and everything else, things started changing. People were scared to go down to the streets. Everyone was very worried, and we had to stop all of this. And we had to shift to our hybrid stage. So we started going on Zoom meetups, conducting different events related to Lebanon so that we could stay connected to our roots and our heritage and our culture and so on. We even did Lebanese food nights because for some reason, all our meetups ended up with talking about Lebanese food. We always ended up talking about food. So we thought we would do a dedicated event just about food. Everyone cooked their own food and we just ate together on Zoom, and then we sketched each other's food and so on. That was fun. We started exploring how this Zoom meetup world would function, because we didn't want to just sit and talk or just sit and draw. We wanted to use this not only for meeting, but also for staying connected to our roots and our heritage and our culture, because also many of us traveled outside the country. So this is how it started. And then we thought, okay, since we have this flexibility, why not introduce our culture and our country to other people? So we reached out to other chapters. We reached out to New York, to Paris, to Chile, to Liberia. We even did a project with Liberia where we found the similar trees that they have in Liberia with the trees that we have in Lebanon. And we drew them. And one of our members actually had an exhibition about common trees between Lebanon and Liberia. So we started exploring that aspect, the global aspect, the freedom that comes with this global aspect. These are some screenshots of our meetups. This is with USK Paris. We showed them Biblos, USK Chile. We discovered that we have a lot of similar cultures and cultural elements with them. USK New York was actually a very important one for me personally, because most of their members have been to the Middle East, but they've only been to one place in the Middle East. And I think you probably know which one it is. So they were shocked to see that just neighboring of that place, there's actually a really nice country that is portrayed differently in the media, and that the Middle East is not just Israel, it's a lot bigger than that. So we started exploring those aspects, and we started to create a global community of some sort, going outside of Lebanon. we also went to them in person. So at the same time as the Zoom meetups, we also had in-person meetups in parallel at some point. And then this went on for a long time. We've been meeting every day for 4 years now, I think, or 5 years. And it's been amazing because other than exploring this new tool and other than exploring this new world that has opened up and other than being able to introduce our country to a much bigger circle, we also became a community that is very close-knit. I knew that whatever happened during the week, I could come back every Tuesday and talk to these people and, ask for their guidance, support each other, and so on. We even did competitions to keep people connected who couldn't join us in Zoom. These are some drawings that were submitted. You can see the diversity in the art. We did a virtual tour of the Grand Sofar Hotel, so we were also exploring that kind of thing. Each one of our members has different strengths, so we also explored that. Shafiq gave us a really good lecture, and then Joy only draws with collage, so she gave us a collage lecture. These are only just a few examples. There's a lot more where that came from. We also brainstormed a lot during these sessions, and we decided to become journalists of some sort. So we also sent some members to cover some of what was happening in Lebanon, like the revolution. One of our members even made his drawings into a book. And all of this really came out from our weekly Zoom meetings and from exploring these new tools that were at our disposal. So that's it. I just wanted to share this example of how our community grew with the hybrid world. And hopefully we could learn from each other and grow together, I guess. Yeah, that's it.
Wow. Wow. Amazing topic. Amazing topic. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Judy. I never expected this, honestly.
Yeah.
We need this, especially myself and Brother Ali. You don't want to see his sketch as well that he had during last term. So we needed that. Okay.
Maybe I'll turn this into a sketching group at some point.
Who knows? Maybe we can have even joint meeting
Yeah, we
with
could do that.
USK. Yeah? Who
That
knows?
would be
Who
amazing.
knows?
Yeah.
The sky's the limit. And as an advanced club, I think maybe we can explore that. But thank you so much, Toastmaster Judy, for showing us just something different. And this is basically, I have a bunch of questions for you, but I'll ask you later on. But thank you so much for the amazing sketches and introducing USK to us. No, please don't. Okay. She might change her mind from the joint meeting. Okay, let's move on to the next session. And the next session is presented by Toastmaster Abdullah Madan. Now, Toastmaster Abdullah Madan, one of those who said, okay, just introduce me the way you wish, right? We have two Abdullahs. I'm confused. Who told me this? I think it is, yes, it's you, right? Yeah. No, the other one did not even give me. Okay, it's recorded. All right, so let's just move on with the next session right now. The next session will be presented by a dear Toastmaster to me. He is the current Division D Director, immediate past Area 16 Director. He is one of those individuals who I nag day and night on his head, and he still keeps smiling. He knows when this happens. He is currently the president of Injaz Bahrain Toastmasters Club, and that's where I keep on pulling his legs. And currently, he is a member of Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters Club alongside Injaz Bahrain Toastmasters Club and Krypton Advanced Toastmasters Club. So he's a member of two Advanced Toastmasters Club. His topic for today is about evaluation. come and evaluate. So please put your hands together to welcome our second presenter for today, Toastmaster Abdullah Madan, with session title Come and Evaluate. Come and Evaluate, Toastmaster Abdullah Madan.
Thank you, DTM Khalid, for this lovely introduction. And I would advise you to keep nagging because we enjoy working. Always. Anything related to Toastmasters is more than welcome. Let me share my screen. Okay. We cannot open this file. No. Okay. No. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So, being a part of Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters Club just raised my bar 10 times higher because coming here to all this gold means that I need to come up with something advanced for such advanced members of Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters Club. So today I will be talking about something very dear to my heart. And a few years ago, when I joined Injaz Bahrain Toastmasters Club, I was fortunate to be evaluated on my first speech by one of my mentors. And when he evaluated me, I thought, well, I did horrible, honestly, on my first speech. And he made me feel that I was a good evaluator that needed only a few improvements to become better. This was Distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Abdullah. He was my first evaluator. So I thought, well, when I evaluate people, I just want to make them feel this way so that they can get motivated and become much better individuals. So I started I started listening more to people who are good in evaluation. And then I approached two types of people to evaluate. People who I see potential in evaluating and people who are impulsive. Sometimes people don't know how to control their tongue, so I pull them over and I let them evaluate so that they can feel. If you really think that you are picky with your words, come and evaluate. If you feel that your tongue is slipping always and you keep hurting people, come and evaluate. You'll see the difference. So, next, let's see. Who is this guy?
Newton.
Newton, exactly. So, as an evaluator, you have to be like Newton. Newton's physics was really obvious. An apple fell on his head. Gravity, something that we can see. As an evaluator, you need to see what's obvious and point it out. You are good in dialogue. Point it out directly. Say it as an evaluator. Who's this guy?
Einstein.
Einstein. What did he discover?
Till y equal mc squared and something.
Yep. Very complicated physics. Things that are really deep, and deep. As an evaluator, you need to dig deep and deep and deep into what the speaker is doing in his speech and try pointing it out and helping him. You need to dig deep, not just be a very shallow evaluator. You need to be a deep evaluator to help the speaker. Now, I'm sure most of you, being in an advanced club, know the sandwich method. Raise your hands if you use the sandwich method. All right. For those who don't use the sandwich method, it is a method that is utilized in evaluation in order to evaluate effectively. But sometimes I feel that just saying that I'm evaluating like a sandwich isn't enough. I think we need to go deeper into what's within evaluating within a sandwich. So we have the first layer, which is the bun, is positive feedback. You say what's good in the beginning to grab the attention of the speaker. Then you go to the constructive feedback and say what the speaker needs to improve on. And in case the speaker got a little bit sensitive about your constructive feedback, you come back again and say some positive feedback so that he can forget what you have said in the constructive feedback. And then you summarize. This is the evaluation sandwich technique. Let's go deeper. So the governing principle in evaluation is focusing on what's good about the speaker more than what's bad about the speaker. Do you think that's an ideal way? Raise your hand if you think it's a little bit fishy. It's not really something that's... All right. So focusing on what's good is more important than focusing on what requires improvement, because whenever we focus on the strength points of a speaker, he will go back, he will revise what he needs to improve on in his strength points, what he needs to focus on, sorry, in his strength points, and he will improve much faster. We can improve much faster on what we are good at rather than what we are really lacking. So if I am excelling at content, I will showcase that person is excelling at content. If that person is excelling at body language, I will point it out. And maybe sometimes that person doesn't really know if he's good at that thing or not. So my job as an evaluator, I need to point it out. I need to showcase to him that you are good at certain things, because once he knows it, he will start focusing on it and he will improve much, much faster. Constructive feedback. Constructive feedback is divided into two parts. First one, what to say. Second one, how to say it. Both of them are equally important. You need to know what to say, because what to say is basically your evaluation. How you say it really makes the person attracted towards what you're saying. If you don't know how to say it, no matter how good your evaluation is, no one's going to listen. And what to say, the first one, you need to state the problem and the solution to the problem. So you don't just point out the problems. Have you seen a doctor that gives that tells you that you are sick and you have this certain thing with you, but he does not give you a medicine? Never. You need to give the problem and the solution. So this is something that would help you as an evaluator. We focus on two main things: content and delivery. In the content, we mainly focus on, let's say, the message. What am I benefiting really from this speech? Was the message clear? Did the speaker really give something that I can go home with? Secondly, storytelling. Did the speaker use storytelling? We always say facts tell, but stories sell. So if a speaker uses storytelling, he might grab the audience's attention. Last one. What's the last one? WIFM. What does that stand for?
What's in it for me?
Yes. What is the thing that the speaker will give me, an action that the speaker will give me at the end of the speech that I can go home and apply directly? And once I go home and apply it, I will remember his speech forever. So I check, did the speaker really check this? Secondly is delivery. Body language. Was it descriptive? Did it really align with what was he saying? Vocal variety. Did he use low tone or a high tone? etc. Pitch, facial expressions. Was his facial expressions or her facial expressions descriptive? This is what you can really watch out for when you are evaluating content and delivery. And whenever you are giving the content, whenever you are giving an evaluation, you focus 1 point for delivery, 1 point for content. I think this is enough for constructive feedback. How to say it? You need to make the speaker listen to you. If he doesn't listen to you, there's no use of your evaluation. You need to be positive. You need to be motivating such that the speaker listens to you. Once you start using negative words, he will never listen. And I'm sorry, but the evaluation is of no use if the speaker does not listen. There are certain words I like to highlight. I swear I've been listening to these words, and whenever someone evaluates me and he or she uses these words, I get frustrated. Our job as evaluators is, I have a speaker, I have an evaluator, there is a gap, I need to bridge this gap. And sometimes when we use certain words, these words actually widens the gap. It distances me away from the speaker. What are these things? Number one, someone saying the phrase, my speaker. My speaker. When someone says my speaker, what does that imply? Can someone say?
I own him or her.
Yes, this is my phone. This is my phone. And the speaker is my own property as well, just like my phone. So we can just say his name or her name, Toastmaster XYZ. Secondly, we felt. Sometimes the evaluator is too harsh, and then he says, we felt. Imagine that someone says, we felt. We, as the whole audience, felt. What we say in evaluation is that this is my personal opinion. Whenever they say we felt, this is the opinion of everyone. Imagine we say, we felt both Abdul during your speech. Everyone will look at you and will bang on your head after your evaluation. We say, I felt, because this is your own opinion. Secondly, you should. When you are giving an evaluation, it is a recommendation. You can either take it or leave it. No one has the right to should you. Sometimes even they say, you should, and they point your fingers, point with their fingers. You should, Toastmaster Abdullah. You should. Instead, we can say, I would recommend. I would recommend that Toastmaster Abdullah, you stop shouting while you are giving your workshop. No, I'm joking. You don't say that. You don't say that. I would recommend that you use vocal variety, for example, and lower your pitch when it's needed, make your pitch higher when it's needed. The word but. Toastmaster Ghulam Farouk, I love that you are doing the timing, but whenever they say but, there's something negative coming in the way. Instead, I would replace it with and. Thank you, Toastmaster Ghulam Farouk. You are doing an amazing job with the timing, and I would really appreciate if you give me 5 more minutes. Secondly, before I go to the next part, some evaluators repeat the speech. We just listen to that amazing speech, and then the evaluator comes and says, today, Toastmaster Ghulam Farouk did this in the beginning, and then he said this in the middle, and then he concluded with this, and then we just listen to the speech. Why are you repeating it? We don't repeat the speech. Instead, we summarize the main highlights, just like a newscaster. He highlights the main event and what are the main things. We don't repeat the speech. The other mistake, the evaluator becomes a speaker. I swear to God, in a speech contest, the speech was about driving, and the evaluator was talking about Hamlet. Imagine the evaluator was talking about Hamlet, and the speech was about driving. He became a speaker. You don't have the right to steal the lights from the speaker. You need just to provide help. You don't have the right to steal the lights away from the speaker. As evaluators, we always ask ourselves, what if? What if I am evaluating a much more experienced speaker than me? 1 year ago, I was given the task of evaluating DTM Khalid and Krypton Advanced Toastmasters Club. And as a 1-year-old Toastmaster evaluating the immediate past district director, I felt intimidated. I was on my toes the whole speech looking for a mistake. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Finally, DTM Khalid, use dialogue in your speech. Finally, I found something. So this is where you grow as an evaluator. Secondly, what if you are evaluating a beginner and you can't find something to compliment? Everything needs improvement. Raise your hand if you lied in an evaluation. Raise your hand. Come on. I know you did it. I know I did. I know you did it. And in case you face such things, you need to dig deep. This is where you grow as an evaluator. You need to find something, whatever it is, find something that you can compliment. So with this, I conclude my old is gold speech, and I would like to hand the mic back to the Master of Ceremonies.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abdullah, for the lovely session. I would recommend as well that you lower your hand, but please lower your hand. Okay, that's the difference. I'm just showing the difference, of course.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for the reminder.
I should, or I would recommend. Are you recommending me or shoulding me?
I'm shoulding you now, just to show the difference. Yeah. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abdullah. Nice way of presenting the same thing, evaluation. It's not an easy thing, honestly. Many would think that evaluation is easy, but there are those certain details here and there that you need to basically think about and remember. I have a bunch of questions later on, and I'm sure many of the audience here are having all the same questions. So we'll come to the question during the panel discussion. Sure. Moving on right now to the third speaker for today. Oh God, when you have two from Injaz Bahrain coming in as member in another club, that's something, okay, I should not basically speak about. But let me just introduce this amazing lady the way that she wanted to introduce herself. So when I asked her, she said, I'm a member of Injaz Bahrain Toastmasters Club and Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters, VPM 2020, 2023, and 2024. So 2 years in Injaz Bahrain Toastmasters Club. Immediate past, Area 13 director. Currently, she is in the CGD team, filling in as area director visit coordinator. And then she said, IDK, I don't know what else to say. I hope this is enough. Well, to me, this is not enough, honestly. I usually always say that Injaz Bahrain Toastmasters Club are my kids. For the Toastmasters over there. That's basically the relationship that I have with all of them. And I know, Zainab, we dug so deep in a few conversations that I felt I'm losing her in one point in time. But I'm so happy that she not even continues as Toastmaster in Injaz, but even she's exploring the Toastmasters even outside. And that's the individual that you would hear about in a while. So please put your hands together to welcome our third presenter today, Toastmaster Zainab Hassan, with a session titled The Podcast Effect. The Podcast Effect, Toastmaster Zainab Hassan.
Thank you, DTM Khalid, for the lovely introduction. That was actually really sweet. And yeah, I really didn't know what else to say. It kind of puts me on spot every time someone asks me to introduce yourself. So I was like, okay, I hope this is enough. But thank you so much. I appreciate your words. So to start with my speech, I'm going to be sharing my screen, if that's okay. All right. Can you please give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen? Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Let me just do a quick run. Okay. So, have you ever heard about podcasts before? Or maybe even listened to one? Did you ever think that storytelling will become hybrid one day? I'm going to be talking about how podcasts are transforming storytelling. So, fellow Toastmasters and guests, good evening to you all. And today I will be talking about the podcast effect and how it changed the storytelling and public speaking world. So to start with, I'm going to ask you a question. What is podcasts? If you can describe podcasts in one word, what would it be? Can you please write down your answers in the chat box? I'm really interested to know what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear this word. We have plenty of time, so take your time. Let me see. No answers yet. So what's the first thing that comes to your mind? The first word that comes to your mind when you hear podcasts?
Broadcast, if I can speak.
Yeah, of course.
I think broadcast is telling a story to a wider range of people by using technologies, a mic in a different way.
That's nice. That's really nice. I like this answer. Any other answers?
I feel just like Toastmaster Ghulam Farooq said, education. I'm getting a lot of education from podcast, listening to different people that are experienced from different fields.
That's actually true. People do share knowledge and experiences through podcasts, so it's a very good educational tool as well. So thank you, Toastmaster Abdullah. And by the way, it was Toastmaster Abdullah Hijazi who answered, not Ghulam Farooq. All right, to continue, oh, my screen is stuck for some reason. I cannot move my screen. Okay. All right, so a podcast is an audio or video episodes that relate to a specific topic or a theme that a person wants to share or speak about. And it can be for as much as they want, as long as they want. So there are no rules to what you can speak about or how long you want to speak about the topic that you want to share. Now I have a question for you. Who is she? Who do you think she is? What do they call her? All right, let me just go with it. So usually the person who is sharing their story is referred to as a speaker in a traditional way of storytelling and public speaking. But in podcasting, the person who is hosting the podcast is referred to as a podcaster. So she is not just any speaker, you can refer to her as podcaster. Let's talk about traditional and modern storytelling, or hybrid storytelling in our case today, where is communication and sharing thoughts and opinions and influencing people has changed drastically over the past decade. It has been a way, and it has been a really good way, and we've seen development in all areas of communication and public speaking, and presentation has changed. And since we are focusing on the topic of how storytelling became hybrid, let's see how people used to share stories before this amazing transformation. As you can see, people used to share their thoughts on stage or conferences or even events. So they had to be in front of a large audience, a large number of audience, and that was maybe one of the places that they were able to share their opinions and their knowledge with other people. Another way of sharing stories was through television, and you had to be near a television to be able to listen to other people's stories. So say you were running late to work and you just wanted to, learn something while you are driving, you really can't because you needed to have television. And another way of sharing stories was through radio. So as you can see, it was really limited. That's why people didn't used to share their stories as much as they do now, because they didn't have the necessary or the right resources for it. So it was not as popular as it is today. But coming to the modern or hybrid storytelling, where everything has become much more easier, people now can listen to other people talking and sharing their experiences while they are cooking, they are working or eating or traveling or even cleaning, or even while going to sleep, you can listen to other people talking. So literally anytime and anywhere, all you need is your phone and you will be able to download and stream your podcast ahead of your plans. So it's really amazing how things have changed. And I want the power of this. I want you to see the power of this amazing tool and how it changed the lives of many people. So why do people actually listen to podcasts? Why do you think it's becoming more interesting these days? Well, there are so many reasons, but I'm going to stick to two for today. And the first one is convenience. And the second one is diversity of content. So first, for the convenience, you can literally multitask while listening. You could be at your sofa eating your favorite snack and listening to your podcast at the same time. You could be going for a run or doing a workout while listening to a podcast. So the convenience is big when it comes to this, because even the podcaster can record the episodes anywhere and anytime. Podcasts come in various lengths, as I mentioned before, so it can vary from a quick 5-minute episode to discussions that last for more than an hour. This flexibility allows the listener to choose content that fits their available time. And one more important thing when it comes to convenience is the educational opportunities, as Toastmaster Abdullah Madan mentioned before. With so many educational podcasts available these days, literally listeners can easily learn new skills or gain knowledge on diverse subjects while on the go. So they can turn their normal usual moments or the boring car rides into productive learning experiences. Second thing is diversity of content. People can create podcasts literally about any topic, any niche that they are interested about. It can be about crime stories, it can be self-development, it can be about marketing, traveling, it can even be about public speaking. So the opportunities are limitless. Podcasts are also produced in various languages, making it accessible to non-English speakers and those who prefer their native language. So this diversity encourages critical thinking and discussions on important social issues. So it really works your mind. There are many other benefits as well, but you can see what it has to offer for many different mindsets and many different people from different cultures. So can you start a podcast? My answer to you is anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. Or you can just listen if you want to. But if you ever think that creating a podcast is a difficult task or hard to manage, I'm telling you that it's really not. It's way more simple than you think. Some people say I don't want to show my face. They're afraid of showing their face or being present in front of the public. They just want to talk without showing their face. And yes, you can do that. You can literally record your record your voice. That was the main purpose of creating podcasts, actually. So whether you want to share, you're afraid of coming out to the public and sharing your face or not, the purpose of podcasts is for people to listen to you, not to look at you. All you need is a phone to record your voice, because let's not make it complicated. You don't need a microphone for that. We have a phone to use these days, so we can record everything on that. A laptop, so you can edit your recordings and publish it in social media. And of course, podcasts can be published and advertised in all platforms of social media, like Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever, TikTok, anywhere. And there are specific platforms that are made for posting and publishing podcasts as well. You need a guest to share your knowledge and thoughts and talk about the topic together, or not. Some people prefer to do it alone. They like to do it solo. There are so many people who like to sit in front of the camera or just record their voice talking about their life experiences, what they have been going through, self-development, giving advice to people. So you don't need to have someone to start doing a podcast. It can literally be on your own. And a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, but in my case, a cup of tea. The podcasting process. So let's talk about the podcasting process. First of all, if you want to start creating a podcast, or if you're interested to know what is the process of a podcast, how it reaches to publishing, and how people just see the final result. They hear the final result, but they don't know what's going behind the scenes. So first is finding your topic. It's just like what we do in Toastmasters. We literally think about a topic, we write it down, organize it, put it in steps, and we have something interesting to talk about. The next thing is building your brand. Now, if you are someone who wants to create podcasts just for yourself, so you can look back to it years later, you can publish it and keep it private. But for most people, they like to share their knowledge with other people. They like to create educational podcasts. So building your brand is really important when it comes to this. As I said earlier, you can literally post your podcasts on Instagram, market it on LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you can. As long as you are having a precise plan, a precise marketing plan, then you're good to go. You can reach as many people as you can. Third thing is record your episode. Whether you want to do it with someone or by yourself, you can record it. And the next thing is editing your episode, of course. Some people like to keep it raw, keep it as natural as possible without editing anything. But some people feel like there are certain things that they cannot post to the public, and they shouldn't have said it. So they like to cut some parts of their podcast. And the last thing is publishing it to the public. Meet Dave Ramsey. So this person is a very famous American financial advisor. He has a podcast. It's called The Dave Ramsey Show, if you're interested to listen to him. He is very knowledgeable and skilled when it comes to financial literacy. So I really love the way he speaks. I love the way he introduces financial freedom in a different way, not the usual talk. It's really different. So the things that he talk about is, of course, financial literacy, debt freedom, wealth building, empowerment, community support, and real life applications. So what he has been doing over the past years has been really interesting and life-changing for so many years, for so many people. One memorable story from the Ramsey Show involves a couple who had over $100,000 in debt in the US. They decided to take control of their finances by following Dave Ramsey's techniques, because he has so many techniques that he shares with his guests on the show. And after years of hard work, budgeting, and making sacrifices, they became completely debt-free. And their emotional call to Dave Ramsey after a few years showcased their journey and expressing how their experience not only transformed their financial situation, but also strengthened their marriage and renewed their hope for the future. So this story by itself exemplifies the power of podcasting and the positive changes that comes with it. It's amazing how a podcast can change so many things. Now, meet Ahmed. Ahmed is a 31-year-old guy. He's my oldest cousin. I promise he doesn't look like this in real life, but that's just to explain and talk about him. Ahmed decided to come up with start his own podcast like a year ago. And for some reason, he decided to call it Donuts and Coffee, because he loves donuts and coffee. So Ahmed is really smart. He enjoys talking about life experiences. So what he did was he invited his friends on the show, and he talked about they exchanged experiences, his travel experiences, their friends' journey in whether it's in IT or whatever. And so Ahmed decided to keep going with this podcast, and he came to me one day and said, Zainab, why don't you join me on the podcast? Why don't you try it out? I've been doing this for a while now. Why don't you come and speak with me on the podcast? I was really nervous. I was just like the other people. I was saying, no, I don't want to show my face. He was recording it on YouTube, so I really didn't want to show my face, and I didn't go for it. But that just shows me that if you say no now, then you might miss a lot of opportunities and a lot of experiences. So until today, I regret not going with that choice. And I am hoping that one day I can do my own podcast and surprise him with that. I'm sure he will love it. And one day maybe I can have him on my podcast as well. So in conclusion, I hope that you can see how podcasts can transform people's lives and transform your thoughts and mindset. And I hope that you can see how storytelling evolved over the years, and that storytelling can become hybrid as well. So in conclusion, please explore and support podcasts, and I will be doing the same thing. I want to learn more about it because we might be surprised about what it can offer. Back to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Zainab. What a lovely way of presenting or looking at the same thing. Whenever I hear about the podcasting, I always feel tempted to try it out. And so I hope that momentum of the energy that you just passed to me would basically push me toward creating my first podcast. But if at all you wanted to have me as a guest in your podcast,
Of course, you will be my first guest.
okay, good. Great. At least I had something to do with podcast there. Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Zainab. Moving on right now with the last, but definitely not the least, speaker. He's looking somewhere else and speaking to someone else. He looks serious, which scares me. No, he's fine now. Alhamdulillah. Good, good. So don't tell him that he's on mute. He will already unmute himself. But the fourth presenter is someone I know very well. I sent him for his introduction, but because he thought I know him very well, so he did not send me. He literally ignored my messages. But today
You know
morning,
me better than myself.
well, this gentleman is the reason why I'm in Toastmasters. So this is something I keep on saying, and I'm really honored to be introduced to Toastmaster through Toastmaster Abdullah Hijazi. I want to ask him about the theme itself. He said, just wait and see. So this is basically what he said about the theme for today and what he's going to say during his session. So please put your hands together to welcome our fourth presenter, Toastmaster Abdullah Hijazi, with a session titled Just Say Yes. Just Say Yes, Toastmaster Abdullah Hijazi.
Thank you, DTM Khalid, for this wonderful introduction. I was honored to introduce you to Toastmaster. I am very proud of you, dear. Let me start my speech. When last time you say no for an opportunity and regretted why I didn't say yes in the first time? Dear Toastmasters and guests, what triggers this speech or this workshop? I was sitting with a friend and I received a call from Ali Shahbaz, our VP, club VP. And he told me, why you don't, I will need speaker for OIG. And I immediately say yes. When I dropped the call and my friend told me, why you saying yes for everything in life? You have to think about it, study it, analyze it, and then say yes if it is suitable for you. So my speech will be, I will tell you why the reason I say yes for opportunities. I will share some stories, short stories, and about saying yes to opportunities and how it changed my life in a positive or a negative way. The first story began when I was a little boy. I was born in the 7th month. I was very quick. I want to be open to life. And then because of doctor mistake, I was having cerebral palsy. It is a kind of lack of oxygen that damage the brain cells. The story is not here. In the 4th grade, I had an opportunity to have an operation that it's very critical, and then it was opportunity to say yes or no for it. It was very critical in a way that I will be sitting in a chair for the rest of my life if it is not succeeded. But with all the fears and regret, I said yes for it. And by saying yes, it changed my life. I was able to stand without a stick for the first first time in my life. What I learned from this one is not to blame others for your condition and to say yes when opportunity comes. Going forward in my life, I was having a decision, a very hard decision, when I finished university, then go to work. I said yes for more than 90 interviews, and I learned a lot from it. I learned how to answer questions, how to be in a hard condition and go over it. But the most critical decision that I had in this area, when I was working in my previous job before joining Babco. And then it was very critical in a way that I was in the same job title for 4 years without increasing in my salary. And to add for this, I did the last 2 months I didn't receive my salary. So I was literally about to broke. When I was interviewed to Babco, and it was a critical moment to say yes and leave the old job with all the problems and lack of money and lack of things and begin a new era in my life. So when I said yes, I learned by joining Babco that sometimes you have to leave what you are your comfort zone and go to another things in your life, another knock another doors in your life. You will find things that will benefit you and open your eyes and show you something, your life in another perspective. So when I joined Babco, I was joining as a customer service. The most terrifying thing that I had previously speaking for a person on a phone. And my job was speaking to people and across the phone. It was very terrifying in the beginning. Then I discovered to be myself. When I be and to think in a way, do the service, how like you are doing the service for yourself. What you like, what you don't like, and any service when you pick up the call. For example, for a phone or for a problem that happened to you and you reach out for customer service. And I tried it for many years, and it proved that it's right. By saying yes for this thing, I learned a lot. I learned that you have to break your limits. You have to face your fears. and when you face your fears and your doubts, uh, and get success out of it, it it changed your life, and it show you how your skills in a very different way in life. Going forward, joining Toastmaster. Joining Toastmaster, I know all the Toastmasters say it changed my life in a way. I was a shy person, and then I spoke to people, and it changed my life. But I will focus. It happens to me also by saying yes to Toastmaster. But I will focus on one thing, in a one competition in Babco refining Toastmaster. For me, before, I don't think I didn't realize, or I didn't think about me like a funny person. So I tend to avoid going to a humorous speech. Let me go with my comfort zone, the international speeches, the drama thing, let people cry and be emotional, then I'll be fine. Until one competition, it was a club competition, and that person was a VP, Ali, I think Ali Shakir. So, and I was happy that I don't have a speech at that time. He told me, I was walking in the meeting, and he told me, we have shorters and humor speech, go and join. Oh my God. To make people laugh, and then doing a speech on the spot. I know Toastmaster Khalid like to do it in certain ways, but for me it was very new. When I started, I went to Walid, who was my mentor, and then he told me, "Oh, you don't speak about service desk. The funny things that happened to service desk." And we discussed. I decided to say yes for it and go and speak about the problems that happened with me, with users, or the funny things. The first joke, people was laughing. The second joke was crying, uh, crying with laughter. Oh my God, I'm really good in it. I discovered I'm really good in it. Then I concluded with a funny thing. I will recall some jokes, so just to make you feel the excitement. One of the users called me and asked, usually we ask about the basic information like your badge number, like your ID CPR. The badge number is in the company is like the identification. And then the PC number, and we'll go through it, contact the user, and then try to solve the problem. When I asked about the PC number, he told me, let me finish from the restroom, then I will then I will give you the PC number. I was shocked. When IT started to pot pieces in the restrooms. Oh my God. Then I discovered he was addicted to work. This showed me that sometimes what I learned from this experience, sometimes you go to a different perspective, and you will be put in a situation that give you good to discover your skills also, if you say yes. Going forward, Toastmasters. How I joined Bahrain Advanced Toastmaster Club. I was loving my home club. I don't want to join any club that time. And when DTM Khalid told me there is advanced Toastmaster, try it. Oh my God, try it. And you know when Toastmaster Khalid, DTM Khalid, keep nagging on you until you do what he wants you to do. When I joined Advanced Toastmaster Club, and I saw Ali Shahbaz that time, Ahmed Rizvi, and Kamal, Toastmaster Kamal, and Toastmaster Batinder, and how they craft their speeches, and how they do, and the fun in Bahrain Toastmaster, Advanced Toastmaster Club. I realized that Toastmaster Khalid, DTM Khalid was right to introduce this club. The professional speakers, the people, I know Ali Shahbaz and other people in a distance before, but when you touch the person and be with him, a lot of time you see you learn from him, like you learn from him a lot, like Abdullah Madan, who showed us how to evaluate what to know, yes, and know what to do and what not to do. Like Toastmaster Zainab, who showed us how to podcast and don't say no to any when you are called for a broadcast. I realized that saying yes is a very good thing. So don't shut down the door if opportunities come, because really it will help you a lot in your life. Back to you, Khalid.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abdullah. Thank you so much for saying yes to me. And to all of and I think you're basically very right when it comes to these things. Experienced many of, we've been through a lot, right? So I know exactly what you mean. So thank you so much for your exemplary leadership since I've known you over the past 10 years. In Toastmasters, at least, of course. Beyond Toastmasters, I don't know how to, okay, let's not start counting. Let's move on to the let's move on to the panel. So now, for those who were eagerly waiting to ask our presenters, you may send me your question privately, or even you can even post it in the chat, so those presenters would also recollect their thinking before they get the question to be asked. And meanwhile, I would enjoy asking my own questions until I get questions from the audience. So let me ask Toastmaster Judy, who has been there as a first presenter, and with all of what she said about sketching. So Toastmaster Judy, how can we take your experience in sketch walk and to basically promote Toastmasters or basically use it in Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters Club. That's something I was always thinking about when you were showing us all of the lovely sketches that you had.
So the question is how you can use sketchwalks to promote Toastmasters?
Yes, exactly.
I think the best way would be through some kind of joint activity, whether it's physical or competition or digital of some sort. Maybe a challenge of some sort. Or maybe we could do a small shared session, like we could teach you how to communicate with drawing, you could teach us how to communicate with words.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go. Creativity. I think, okay. Our PRM is in here and she is capturing all of what you're saying. So it's not just recorded, that all of what you say is recorded, but she's also recording and taking the ideas for the district. So watch out. But yeah, I love that, Toastmaster Judy. Speak and sketch. I can see definitely multiple venues that we can cross. Great.
Yeah.
And I can see another question for you. Let me just pick that question as well from the chat. It says, how did you formally take advantage of hybrid to promote it internationally? Toastmaster Farouk.
Okay. So initially, urban sketching, it means sketching on location. So sketching through Zoom, which means you were sketching from images, was not technically allowed in the beginning. But after COVID, they relaxed the rules, and this relaxation of rules is the reason why we were able to invite other chapters through Zoom. Otherwise, it wouldn't be possible because it would be against the rules or the manifesto of what Urban Sketchers is, because we can't be in two countries sketching something that's in front of us. So it's this shift to hybrid that allowed us to expand to the global international community more and invite them over. Like digital, what's it called? Walkthroughs through Google Maps, you know, the walkthrough function. It was allowed. Before it was illegal, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
So this relaxation of rules due to everyone shifting to hybrid is actually what we took advantage of. I think we were the first chapter to do it worldwide.
Mashallah.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Judy. And moving on to the person who has been there and inviting us to evaluate. So let me invite him with one question and until we get more from the audience as well. Okay, can see the audience is basically waiting for you. So let me take their question and then maybe ask my question. So the question in the chat, Toastmaster Abdallah, how important, in your opinion, is for the speaker to inform the evaluator on what they are looking for in the evaluation? Okay, that's really a tricky question.
Okay, so basically, Toastmaster Farouk is asking how important it is for the evaluator to look what the speaker is mainly what the speaker wants the evaluator to focus on. Is that your question?
Something like that. But more importantly is that sometimes I feel that evaluation is a two-way thing, and the speaker forgets to inform the evaluator that what they're really looking for themselves,
Okay.
Yeah.
So I believe that sometimes the speaker has an objective in mind. He wants to improve in a certain thing, and the evaluator might focus on other things rather than what the speaker is looking for. So what the speaker really wants to focus on, maybe the speaker, because of prior experiences, maybe he saw that he lacks in something. Maybe he lacks in storytelling. Maybe he lacks in body language. Maybe he lacks in vocal variety and something. But the evaluator is really looking at the general aspect. He's not really looking specifically at something. So if the speaker wants to really improve on something, like the content itself, how to convey it, the story, how to say it, and embed the message in it, he has to inform the evaluator, well, what do you think is a good suggestion so that I can improve my storytelling? What is a good suggestion that I would like to have from you, that I want my speaking to be way more clearer and I can convey the message? So if the speaker is looking to improve in a certain aspect, he has to inform the evaluator so that he can focus more.
Good, good. Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abdullah, for the lovely answer. Moving on to the podcaster, Toastmaster Zainab. So, Toastmaster Zainab, the question that I have, how do podcasts influence listener engagement compared to traditional media formats like radio or television?
All right. So what we can see is that podcasts really influence engagement through offering a wide range of topics. So it allows you to have a personalized platform where you can pick the topic of your choice, whereas the old version or the traditional way of sharing like stories like radios and television, you don't get the choice to listen to whatever you like. It just comes up randomly. So having podcasts is totally a different world. You can pick whatever you want, and this really helps in engaging with your audience. It helps building the connection between the host and the speaker. So that's, in my opinion, how podcasts build engagement, social engagement in general.
Okay, makes sense. And there is a question, since we are still with you, from Toastmaster Farouk. Is there a resource that can guide us to set up a podcast as best practices? When can we expect your podcast? And that's also a follow-up question.
So the question is a resource that can guide us to set up a podcast. Well, so far, I haven't heard about any, like, if you mean like a platform to post your podcast, there are so many. There are plenty, like Apple Podcasts. There are so many platforms. But if you want a platform to guide you, I haven't heard about that so far. All I know is that there are so many people and educators on YouTube and Instagram where they are experienced in podcast making, and they post a lot of that. They post a lot of tips. So I can do some research for you, and I know a few people that do post podcast topics in their Instagram page, and how to create one, how to build your brand, and all of that. So yes, definitely there are people in social media who do take their time to explain these things for the public. And when can we expect your podcast? I am planning on it, to be honest. Inshallah, very soon. Yeah, I can't say anything because I haven't done anything yet, but it's on my mind for sure. It's something that I really want to try, inshallah.
Great. Work in progress. I have 3 more questions for you, Zainab, but I'll come back to you later on.
All right.
3 interesting questions. Okay, your question, Abdullah, just came in right now. Toastmaster Farouk is on the roll. So the question is, well, you implied that saying yes helps getting you out of your comfort zone and grow. But, okay, now this is something for Toastmaster Abdullah Madan to later on evaluate. Is there an occasion where you regretted saying yes?
Uh, to be honest with you, I was a no person. And I regret all saying no to these things. This delayed me to get some benefits. About regretting to say yes, eventually no, dear, because Even if you have, if you're saying yes in a certain topic, and then it's a and then it's not a regretting thing, because go to the positive thing in it. You will learn how you will learn a lot from saying yes to the opportunity. I'm not uh, telling you to say yes, for example, to jump over a skyscraper uh, or something. It's something like that. It's the opportunity. If you don't try it and you, I don't want to say suffering, or you learn from it, you will not get the beauty of it. I remember that one time I was asked to go to do rafting in of my travels. Rafting is a boat with a plastic boat, and you will go to a river that have a lot of rocks. I could say no to it, but I said yes, but and learned that no, it was in Bosnia. I learned a lot from it. The enjoyment and the good things I got from it, I still speak about it until nowadays. You have to confront your fears by saying yes. Back to you.
Very wise answer. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abdullah. And I can see questions coming to me right now. So let me just go back to Toastmaster Abdullah Madan. Toastmaster Abdullah, the question that I got privately, how can you ensure your evaluation remains concise yet impactful within the given time limit?
All right. So, getting straight to the point, and sometimes I hear this I see this, not just here. I see that evaluators start giving stories during the evaluation itself and not getting directly to the point. The evaluation should be a summary of the speech. If the speech is 7 minutes, the evaluation should be maximum 3.5 minutes because it's a summary. So giving a concise and summarized thing is really important. What you have to do is just take what you liked, mention it, and then take whatever you feel that needs improvement, mention it, and you have to give an action plan. How can he implement what you already mentioned? You have to say it in a very summarized way. Like, for example, I liked the way you spoke, and I would really appreciate if you incorporated storytelling. And in order for you to incorporate storytelling, you should recall what happened to you at that day and start stating it in a very, very short yet impactful way that you make us live this moment. And I can give you some guidelines and links that you can follow later on. And you can just pass on to the next point of improvement and then come back again to the let us say, the summary, etc. So making it very short and sweet. The problem, the solution as an action plan and in a summarized way. This will make you within the time frame and will allow you to help that person. The main objective is you helping that person rather than, well, saying a story or something in the evaluation.
Well said. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abdullah. There are a few more questions to you, but I'll come back to them when time allows. Let me just jump into Toastmaster Judy, maybe. So Toastmaster Judy, through your sketch work, and by the way, there are many messages coming to me that they see you somewhere in BAT next year. I'll not reveal that until you see it yourself. But for now, tell us a story of the most impactful sketch that you made throughout this experience of sketch walk.
That's a good question. Well, there's the most impactful sketch that I made, I think was, the thing is we go political sometimes. And so I think there was an event where they were reclaiming the beach somewhere in Beirut. Obviously, they shouldn't be doing that. It's public property. And so we actually organized an event to go and protest by sketching on the beach. It was fun, but it made a point. And then we did an exhibition, and then we participated in a publication. So I felt like that time that my sketch did have some kind of purpose or wanted to deliver some kind of message. Now, in terms of people, the most meaningful sketches are when kids join us, and especially homeless children. And then we give them pens and papers and we teach them. And then you feel like sometimes it ignites something in them. Like I went to Jordan, we met some Bedouin kids up in Petra, for example. And then I ended up just sitting with the kids and just drawing with them. And so these are good memories. And I think maybe some impactful moments that I had. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, this really, I feel it. I feel the passion, I feel the emotion. So thank you so much for sharing your experience. And from one amazing lady to another amazing lady as well. So Toastmaster Zainab, I have lots of questions, honestly, for you, but let me just pick the first one and see how time would take us. So how does one structure an episode to keep listeners engaged from the start to finish?
All right, that's a really good question. How to structure an episode. If you are a Toastmaster, whoever asked this question, you know how to structure a speech, right? You have an introduction, you have a body, and then you have a conclusion. So what you want to start with in your introduction is basically something that grabs the audience attention. So let's say you have a very special guest on your show. Let's say you have the CEO of WABCO, for example. How are you going to introduce this person? Well, give you either a good result or a bad result for your podcast. Either you'll have so many views or not so many views. So thinking about this, you have a very special person on your podcast. You have to give them a really good introduction. That's first. You have to keep in mind that there are different steps that you must follow, just like creating a speech. You must have a paper and pen with you the whole time during the podcast, unless you are an expert for 10 years, let's say. You don't need a pen and paper, but if you're a beginner, you definitely need a pen and paper to write down and take all the steps that you've done. And for the body, you have to, if it's a very professional person, you have to keep it formal with them. You have to ask them questions that they can relate to, that they can give you precise answers to, and people can benefit from. But if it's just an intimate podcast where you and your friends are talking about your experiences, or if it's just yourself, then you can just go ahead and start talking about your topic the way you want. You can be funny about it, you can be free about it, however you like. And for the conclusion, as each speech has a good conclusion, a podcast also must have a good conclusion, and you must leave your audience with something to remember so that they can come back to you in the future and listen to more of your podcasts. So it's really simple. You only need a pen and paper or your phone to type down the steps and your plan for your podcast, and you will be good to go.
Amazing. Well said. Thank you so much, Toastmaster. I have lots of questions coming in private. Let me just see how we can adjust to the time. Let me ask a question to Abdullah Hijazi, Toastmaster Abdullah. So Toastmaster Abdullah, the question is, How does saying yes improve your hybrid experience in Toastmasters?
What I can say in Toastmaster Khalid. Hybrid improved a lot saying yes for it. Especially I joined a broadcaster, a different country club, Active Mind from Kuwait. This experience showed me how the hybrid meeting can improve your skills in Toastmasters and to meet funny people and to meet new people in another country. What I learned from it a lot, that every person in the world have some fears, some things to improve, some things to grow, and we are, as a human beings, we are sharing the same doubts all over the world. Don't think yourself that you are different in a way, in a way. So saying yes to a hybrid meeting and meeting people from all over the world benefit for me a lot. Even when I went to CAT, Krypton Toastmaster Club, and joined that online meeting, I learned a lot of them from their speeches, from their growth. So the hybrid help you also, and don't ever say no to opportunities. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abdullah. I can see the red light already on. So that means we are done with our segment. But just to give justice to those who wrote the questions, I'll mention the questions. And for the presenters, you don't need to answer them now. Maybe you can answer them in the group itself, in the WhatsApp group of the club. So there's a question for Judy. How has being part of a hybrid community influenced your learning and professional growth as a creative? Maybe you can later on answer that question. I'll copy them later and maybe share them in the group as well. So questions for Toastmaster Abdullah Madan. What's one key piece of advice that has transformed your evaluation style over time? And the second question, how do you train yourself to listen both verbal and non-verbal cues? That's your question. And for Toastmaster Zainab, how does one constantly come up with new content ideas for their podcast? And the second question, how do you use your listening feedback? How do you use listener feedback to improve future episodes? So these are the questions to our presenters. And with this, I don't honestly want this to end. There's so much energy, positive energy, lots of information happening, coming back and forth. But thank you so much for all of the presenters. And I think our president would also take that and recognize right? So it's you, Toastmaster Rudolph, right? Your recognition part is...
Thank you very much. It's okay.
Yes. So please, thank you so much. And with this, I hand the control back to Madam President, Toastmaster Rudolph Hijazi.
Thank you. Thank you very much, DTM Khalid Abdullah, for this amazing role you took today. Thanks for everyone for attending. Before time, I would like to ask Mr. Qasim if he liked our all this goal today. And by the way, to join advanced club doesn't mean that you have to be a Toastmaster in advance. So I'm example of a person. Judy is an example of person. Toastmaster Rolla is an example of a person who were not Toastmasters at all, and they just joined. As you see today, each one is unique where he is for what he has. So that's the value. Mr. Samsung, I don't know, Mr. Mrs. Madam Samsung, I hope you enjoyed it. We got some visitors and left. But before we hear from you, let me share the screen. Oh, where is it? So can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe you
Thanks
want to
for
slideshow it.
yes.
So, yeah.
So that's what happens when we are in a hybrid meeting. Thanks for Toastmaster Judy Abirustum for presenting her amazing presentation and speech. It's about urban sketches, and she took me personally to lots of histories about Beirut, and I think we'll discuss this later with you. I think I attended one of these exhibitions you did at Sadico Square. So thank you, Toastmaster Judy, for presenting. This is a simple certificate for you for your efforts. For Toastmaster Abdullah Madan, thank you for presenting an amazing presentation about come and evaluate, how to evaluate. Let's all give them a round of applause. Thank you for Toastmaster Zainab Hassan, the podcast effect. You really left an effect in each and every, talking about myself after what I heard from DTM. Abdullah Madan, I am affected by what you presented. I hope everyone as well. Thanks for Toastmaster Abdullah Hijazi. Just say yes. It's the art of saying yes or the art of saying no. But actually saying yes is something, if you consider it immediately, that's nice for you. Nice speech you presented. Thank you for DTM Khalid Abdullah, the panel moderator and MC for today's All This Gold series, a series that I enjoy joining. And finally, thanks for DTM Ali Shahbaz Ali for being the timer, and he's the backbone of our club. Thanks for each and everyone for presenting and attending today. What can we say about hybrid meeting? It's a chance actually that gave us all, I think, this is the positive thing about Corona is that we had the chance to meet and to join Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters Club. This is one of the best things that happened in my life during Corona, is joining, because I live in Beirut and I attended when I was in Bahrain, and then they called me, would you like to join? Come on, hybrid meeting. No, it was only online. And then we shifted to hybrid meeting, and then I sitting in Beirut telling them, the voice is not good, please fix it. That's saying things behind the scenes. It's easy from Beirut back in a different country, telling them fix this and fix that. And then when I came to Bahrain, oh my God, what marvelous efforts they do to make a hybrid meeting a successful one. And then said, just shut your mouth and watch. So I keep talking to my inner self, keep silent. They're doing their best. This is the scene that we don't see when we are sitting at home. Really, we have a good team working on a hybrid meeting. Thanks all. We still have 2 minutes. If someone of our guests or our Toastmasters would like to say something before we adjourn the meeting. Anyone would like to say something before we adjourn the meeting? Or I adjourn the meeting, I announce that All This Gold is adjourned, and let's have our own discussion later on. Thank you very much. Toastmaster Rolla, would you like to say something before we...
Yes, if I can. It will take a
Yes.
second.
Take your time.
Yes,
We
I'd like
adjourn
to.
the meeting.
I'll just say to Toastmaster Abdullah Hijazi that by saying yes, you said that by saying yes, you have learned a lot. Well, by listening to your speech, I can assure you that I have learned a lot more. You are such an inspiration, and I can assure you that from now on, I'll be saying a lot yeses more, or more yeses. That's it. Thank you.
Dear.
And one more thing to Toastmaster Judy. Actually, was a very beautiful work, and you just reminded me of the mythical phoenix bird as it was rising from the ashes, stronger and more resilient. That was your work to me.
Yeah, it's always like that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to Toastmaster Abdullah. It was very constructive and fruitful. And for Toastmaster Zainab, I would be saying, I'm excited and encouraged to be having a podcast soon. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, we'd like to ask Mr. Qasim if he gives us his phone number. We have a WhatsApp group for guests in Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters Club, and you can know when we meet, how we meet, if you like that. You are free to share your mobile number in the chat box. Toastmaster Abdullah Hijazi is the Vice President membership for our club, and it's his duty to do that. If you would like that, will be appreciated. Well,
I think he's still looking for Muhammad Rashid.
Muhammad Rashid, yeah.
I thought he would be here, really.
Yes. Toastmaster Sarah, would you like to say something? We didn't hear your voice today. DTM Sarah.
But I was not planning on using it because I used all of it yesterday at the district. But Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. It's been a long time for me to be back at an OIG. But when you see such amazing speakers, and that too such upcoming speakers, in that it's definitely worth spending 2 hours of your time, whereas you have a lot on your plate still. So I was using OIG as my podcast today.
Mhm.
I was not even looking at any one of you or your presentations, honestly. And I was listening to each and everybody. And great job, really. I at some point of time I started scribbling things on the book, which I had in mind. But then I was like, considering that it's not a physical meeting, I cannot ask questions, you know. So I was like, oh, I will ask them personally because I still have a lot in my mind at the moment. So I will be approaching at least 2 or 3 of you because I have something in mind and I was looking for people for a really long time. So thank you, dear MC, for scaring everyone. But thank you so much. It was definitely worth attending. Thank you, of course, to the VP who brings up something different each and every time. I don't know. He doesn't go out of content ideas. I think he should start a podcast soon enough. So thank you so much. And that's all from my side. Back to you, Madam President.
Yeah, thank you. We have finished our meeting. We are free to talk now. Whatever you want to say, to share, something in your mind.